What if the reason some men turn heads the moment they enter a room has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with quiet, measurable signals you can learn to project on demand? What if attraction, genuine, lasting attraction, were the byproduct of 9 specific behaviors that women detect almost instantly, often below the level of conscious awareness? Stay with me, because in the next minutes, I'm going to hand you a field-tested, research-backed blueprint to become the kind of man who doesn't chase attention. He commands it. This isn't about lines, gimmicks, or trying to be someone you're not. It's about becoming so centered, so deliberate, and so grounded in masculine value that your presence does the speaking for you long before you open your mouth. As you listen, notice which pieces already live in you and which ones you need to sharpen. By the end, you won't just understand attraction, you'll embody it. Let's get something straight from the first second. Being highly attractive isn't the same as being genetically pretty. In evolutionary psychology terms, attractiveness is a multi-layered signal: health, status trajectory, behavioral predictability, alliance value, and the ability to regulate yourself under pressure. Women are exquisitely tuned to these signals. They read them through your posture, your micro-expressions, your voice, your timing, and the way you decide. You felt this before around certain men: a calm certainty that makes you relax, a subtle competence that makes you lean in. That's not an accident. It's the sum of 9 signs. Each one amplifies the others. Remove one and the system still works. Stack them and you become rare. The first sign that you're a highly attractive man is simple to describe and hard to fake: self-command. I'm not talking about suppressing emotion. I mean the ability to notice your impulses, ride the surge, and choose your response with intention. In social dynamics, this is the nuclear core of attractiveness. Women unconsciously scan for it because it's a proxy for safety and leadership. If your nervous system stays steady when plans change, if you hold eye contact without hardening, if you can say no without getting defensive and yes without needing approval, you radiate a signal that says, "I can carry weight." This is Stoicism operationalized: perception, action, will. You train it the way a fighter builds balance, by seeking controlled discomfort daily. Cold showers, delayed gratification, finish what you start rules, tight start times, honest self-audits. The man who can keep his promises to himself doesn't need to posture. His calm becomes contagious. Notice how that plays out in conversation. Someone tries to bait you with a provocative comment. You don't perform, you interpret. You pause, tilt your head slightly, let 3 seconds breathe, and answer with a concise frame. "I see why you'd say that. Here's how I'm thinking about it. You didn't fight. You didn't fold. You steered." That micro moment broadcasts more attractiveness than a stack of compliments ever could because it demonstrates governance. And governance over your time, your attention, your appetite is the one trait that multiplies every other trait. The second sign is trajectory over trophies. Attractive men communicate direction. They are moving towards something bigger than themselves: purpose, mastery, mission. And women pick up on that like a heat-seeking radar. It's not materialism, it's momentum. Ambition with integrity is sexy because it signals future resourcefulness and growth potential. I want you to feel the distinction here. Posting wins is noise. Living by a map is signal. When your calendar reflects your values, your words carry weight. When your mornings start with a ritual instead of chaos, your energy compacts. When you say, "I can't that night, I'm training," you don't sound unavailable. You sound real. Desire follows gravity, and gravity follows focus. Decide your North Star and operationalize it. 1 primary goal for the quarter, 3 keystone habits that lock it in place. A weekly review where you prune distractions. Most men float. Men with direction create a current around them. That current pulls interest without asking. Third, you demonstrate selective abundance. This is where most guys blow it. They think availability equals kindness. In attraction, it equals blandness. Paradox. The more you place your time behind a clean boundary, the more desire intensifies, provided your boundary is grounded, not manipulative. Women are drawn to men who choose with discernment because selection signals value. You're not rude, you're clear. You can be generous with attention and still be rigorous with access. Here's the behavioral tell. You don't overshare early. You don't rearrange your day to accommodate a last-minute text unless it aligns with your priorities. And you don't seek permission to have a spine. You calibrate. When she tests, You smile with warmth and hold your line. I like you, and I won't rush this. That's not a technique. It's a reflection of how you run your life. Scarcity by accident is cheap. Scarcity by standards is compelling. Make your standards visible through action, a clean environment, consistent training, disciplined diet, meaningful work blocks, and a hard stop on low-value drama. Your boundary is a service. It protects your mission and therefore protects the relationship from your future resentment. Fourth, you exhibit pro-social dominance, the leadership style that combines strength with benevolence. There are two paths to status: force and prestige. Force can attract quickly and repel even faster. Prestige, earned influence through competence plus generosity, creates durable desire. Women intuit this distinction in seconds. The attractive man isn't loud, he's lucid. He doesn't need to win every exchange. He knows which games matter. Watch his micro-behaviors. He notices the environment. He coordinates subtly. He acknowledges contributions. He assumes responsibility without theatrics. When there's ambiguity, he suggests a next step. When someone else has better expertise, he defers gracefully. That blend of capability and collaboration is rare. It tells a woman, if life hits, this man will stabilize the frame without making the crisis about his ego. Practice this on purpose. In a group setting, be the man who locks in logistics, sets the tone, and protects the vibe. Lead the check, not to flex, but to close loops. This is dominance as stewardship, and stewardship is deeply attractive because it offers direction without coercion. Fifth, your nonverbal channel is fluent. Posture, cadence, eye contact, and vocal resonance. Humans outsource judgment to the body before the mind catches up. You can't outtalk poor signals. Attractive men broadcast, I'm safe, I'm strong, I'm present, with mechanics that are almost boring in their simplicity. Shoulders back and down, chin neutral, ribcage stacked over pelvis, weight evenly distributed on the feet. You take slightly fewer steps than the average man. Your head moves less when you speak, and your gestures are economical. Your eye contact is direct but never invasive. You hold it long enough to feel connected, then you glance away to relieve pressure and return with a micro smile. Your voice carries from the diaphragm. You finish sentences. If you want a fast, measurable upgrade, record 60 seconds of your voice reading a paragraph. Listen for uptalk, filler, and breath. Train with slow exhale counts, humming on long vowels, and 3-beat pauses before key points. An attractive voice has warmth and certainty. It's the sonic version of a firm handshake. Clothing and grooming sit inside this channel too. Well-fitted basics, texture over loud logos, clean shoes, hair intentionally styled, a signature scent used sparingly. You're curating signals, not begging for attention. The cumulative effect, your baseline presence, is a yes. Sixth, you display competence under pressure, not theory, skill. Women are magnetized by demonstrated mastery because mastery proves you can learn, persist, and deliver. It could be in your work, your craft, your sport, your music, your business. What matters is that your competence is embodied and useful. The attractive man handles problems in real time without dramatizing them. He can fix, he can organize, he can negotiate, he can teach. When he doesn't know, he says so and finds out. Think of competence as the masculine form of beauty. It has contours, edges, and symmetry that people feel. And competence compounds. Each solved problem becomes a reputational layer. This creates the aura women read as dependable excitement. Safe because you're reliable, exciting because you're capable. Build a competence stack. One hard skill you're already good at that you sharpen weekly. One social skill you deliberately practice in the wild, and one physical skill that challenges your coordination and grit. Keep receipts in your own soul. Projects finished, weight lifted, deadlines met, miles run, people helped. Competence is attractive because it's earned. No algorithm can fake it. Seventh, you shine with relational intelligence. High-value empathy without self-betrayal. Attractive men can attune without absorbing, validate without capitulating, and invite openness without turning into a therapist. They understand polarity. Masculine direction meets feminine expression. They listen cleanly, ask precise questions, and label emotions in plain language. They don't weaponize psychological jargon. They simplify it. You felt the opposite. A man who either shuts down when a woman emotes or tries to fix everything in a panic. The attractive man breathes, mirrors, and grounds. I hear you. That would frustrate me too. Here's what I can do. Here's what I can't. Notice the boundary embedded in the care. That boundary is crucial because unbounded empathy feels like insecurity. With bounded empathy, your presence becomes a harbor, not a sponge. Add a layer of play. Humor is a supernormal stimulus in courtship because it signals cognitive agility and social safety. You don't perform stand-up. You tease lightly. You amplify a shared absurdity. You let silence punchlines land. Laughter isn't a trick. It's a nervous system handshake. When she can relax around you, attraction breathes deeper. Eighth, your energy reads as vital. Health isn't everything, but without it, nothing else delivers. The research is clear. Sleep quality affects facial attractiveness. Posture communicates vigor and a favorable shoulder-to-waist ratio. Built by consistent training and clean nutrition, signals hormonal robustness without you saying a word. You don't need to become a monk. You do need standards. 3 anchors. Strength training 3 to 4 times per week with progressive overload, daily steps and mobility to lubricate the machine, and a simple nutrition framework you can hold in any situation. Protein first, plants abundant, processed sugar controlled, hydration automatic. Add a grooming protocol that respects your face shape and skin type. Keep nails clean, beard shaped or shaved intentionally, teeth white, breath handled, scent minimal and high quality. None of this is vanity, it's respect. For yourself, your future, and the woman who will share your orbit. Vitality is a lighthouse. It projects from the inside out. 9th, your relationship with desire is clean. You don't chase, you choose. You're comfortable with your sexuality. You're not controlled by it. Women feel the difference immediately. Neediness leaks in dozens of micro-behaviors. Double texting without a response. Over-complimenting, rushing intimacy. Tolerating poor behavior to avoid loss. Fishing for reassurance. A highly attractive man exudes a subtle erotic gravity without turning it into a sales pitch. He flirts with eye contact. He plays with proximity. He acknowledges beauty boldly and tastefully. And he knows how to escalate tension while honoring consent. Desire becomes art when it's framed by integrity. This requires self-honesty about what you want and the courage to say it. I like spending time with you. I want to see where this goes. Let's slow it down a notch tonight and make it better. That's not weak. That's mastery. It tells her you're not in a scarcity trance. Ironically, this is what unlocks deeper chemistry, because security amplifies intensity. Clean desire also means you can walk away from misalignment. The ability to exit gracefully is erotic because it proves you won't betray your values for validation. Mystery appears when you don't collapse. Now let's tighten the screws and translate these 9 signs into behaviors you can deploy starting today. Begin with self-command by building micro-gaps between stimulus and response. When you feel the urge to fill silence, extend it by 2 seconds. When you feel your heart rate spike after a text, put the phone down. Take 3 deep belly breaths and check whether you're reacting to be liked or responding to lead. Set a 1-decision rule for your mornings. The first decision of the day is predetermined. You wake, you hydrate, you move. No negotiating with yourself. The discipline of 1 clean decision prevents 50 messy ones. Every time you practice this, you're laying down neural tracks for composure. Direction requires a map on paper. Write 1 paragraph that describes your mission in the next 12 months. Not a fantasy, a direction. From that paragraph, extract 1 keystone outcome you will measure. Break it into weekly lead measures within your control. Focused work blocks, training sessions, sales calls, chapters drafted, hours of study. Put those blocks in your calendar. Protect them like oxygen. If a woman asks you out during that block, you say, "I can do 8:15 after I finish." That 1 sentence broadcasts more value than any humble brag. Selective abundance lives in your yes-no ratio. Track it for 7 days. Aim for a minimum of 3 strategic no's for every yes. Say no with warmth and clarity. That doesn't fit my priorities this week. Or, I'm out for now. If that changes, I'll let you know. Watch what happens to your energy and your attractiveness when you stop leaking time. Boundaries don't repel the right women, they attract them. Prosocial dominance is a muscle you grow in small groups. Volunteer logistics. When people ask, "Where should we go?" offer a concrete plan with a choice. 2 options: Italian on 4th at 7:30 or sushi at 8. I'm leaning Italian. You're not dictating, you're directing. If someone else has a strong preference, you pivot without losing center. Done. Sushi at 8. I'll book. The behavior is the point. Clarity, decisiveness, flexibility. In a restaurant, sit where you can see the room. It's a primal leadership cue. You're aware and at ease. When the check comes, handle the coordination with minimal fuss. "I've got this. You grab coffee next time," or "Let's split, I'll Venmo everyone." Logistics are sexy when they're light. Nonverbal fluency starts at the door. Before you enter a room, exhale fully and lengthen your spine. Imagine a string lifting your chest, not your chin. When you speak, plant your feet. When you walk, glide, not with exaggerated swagger, but with grounded hips and relaxed shoulders. Practice conversational pacing. Short sentence, pause, longer phrase, pause, slight smile. In eye contact, use the triangle technique. Shift your gaze between the eyes and the mouth occasionally to keep things dynamic. Lower your vocal pitch slightly by speaking on the exhale, not by forcing your throat down. Test it. Say your name in 2 ways and feel which one vibrates in your chest instead of your neck. Own that resonance. Competence under pressure becomes visible when something goes wrong. Don't rush to fix, rush to clarify. What's the actual issue? What's the fastest test to isolate it? What's within my control this minute? Attractive men shrink big problems into small next actions. They push information to the surface and then move. If you need to call in help, you do it without ego. You're not trying to be a hero. You're trying to ship a solution. That orientation is the sexiest thing you can wear. Relational intelligence gets trained through boundaries in conversation. When she shares something emotional, resist the reflex to explain her feelings away. Mirror the structure. You're angry because the plans changed late. That makes sense. Then place the frame. Here's what I can adjust. Here's what stays. If accusations fly, don't counterattack. Ask the cleanest question in the room. What outcome do you want right now? This question converts drama into decision. When you tease, do it with warmth and precision, never contempt. Contempt kills polarity. Playful challenge. You talk a big game, let's see you back it up at pool. Creates spark because it assumes her strength. Vitality is the simplest to fake short-term and the hardest to fake long-term. Build your training like a bricklayer. 3 compounds form your base: deadlifts or hinges, pushes, and pulls. Add loaded carries and sprints as seasoning. Track sleep like a professional. Cut alcohol during your heavy training phases and watch your face sharpen in 14 days. Keep your style tight by auditing once a season. 3 high-quality tees, 2 Oxford shirts, 2 pairs of jeans that actually fit, a soft-shouldered jacket, clean white sneakers, leather boots, 1 well-cut coat, 1 watch that tells a story about your taste. Remove everything that doesn't make you feel decisive when it touches your skin. You're not decorating yourself, you're aligning your exterior with your interior. Clean desire might be the most important sign because it integrates the rest. Pay attention to your pacing. Fast escalation without calibration reads like anxiety. Slow escalation without polarity reads like friendship. The attractive man adjusts speed to the moment. He can sit in a charged silence. He can say, "Let's take a walk," and put a hand on the small of her back lightly to guide, never to claim. He knows how to exit the moment well. "I've got an early start. Tonight was fun. Text me when you're free on Thursday." He doesn't dangle. He doesn't beg. He leaves her with clarity and curiosity. If you struggle with this, rewrite your inner script about loss. Most men cling because they treat one interaction like the last train home. Abundance is a practice, not a personality trait. Expand your life. Hobbies, circles, projects. The more your life offers, the less likely you'll grip. Less grip, more gravity. More gravity, more attraction. Let's go deeper into the mechanics women notice subconsciously and how you can sharpen them. Time orientation is huge. Attractive men own the clock. They arrive on time. They end on purpose. They don't apologize for leaving when they said they would. This isn't cold, it's rare. Scarcity and reliability in the same body is a paradox that pulls. Language cues matter too. Replace apology as habit with precision. Stop saying sorry when you mean thanks. Thanks for waiting, not sorry I'm late, and then don't be late. Compress your requests. Join me for tacos Wednesday 7:15. If not, Saturday at 6 works. This packages leadership and flexibility. Avoid rambling texts. Think in lines, not paragraphs. Attractiveness also lives in how you handle attention. When you receive a compliment, lock eye contact and land it with, "Thank you." Don't deflect. Deflection is self-rejection in disguise. Own your wins and redistribute the spotlight when appropriate. Appreciate it. The team crushed it too. That balance, ownership plus credit sharing, marks you as high status without the poison of arrogance. In the wild, arrogance feels like brittle glass. Confidence feels like oak. Another amplifier is ethical unpredictability. Not chaos, surprise. Humans habituate quickly. You want to be consistent in values and delightfully variable in expression. You plan dates that have a twist. Tacos followed by an impromptu bookstore challenge. Coffee plus a gallery with a game where you each pick the most overrated piece. A sunrise hike with breakfast you prepped. You don't announce your generosity. You deliver it. Predictable men are safe and dull. Unpredictable men without ethics are exciting and dangerous. Attractive men are both safe and stimulating. That pairing is rare because it requires both self-command and imagination. Understand also the microeconomics of attention. Attractive men don't flood the market. They invest in depth. When you're with her, you're with her. No phone on the table. No wandering eyes. No scanning for an exit. Presence is the currency of modern desire because it's the scarcest thing in the room. 30 minutes of undiluted presence outperforms 3 hours of distracted hangout every time. Your focus tells her how you treat what you value. If you can't hold focus with her, she assumes you can't hold focus with your mission either. That assumption kills attraction in silence. Let's layer in persuasion properly. Influence isn't manipulation, it's leadership with empathy. Cues like reciprocity, consistency, social proof, and scarcity are real forces, but weaponizing them erodes trust. Integrate them with respect. Offer value first without keeping score. Ask for small commitments and honor them. Surround yourself with high-caliber people and let that environment speak. Protect your time and signal that protection with clear, warm boundaries. As you do, notice how naturally attraction grows when your behavior is congruent. Congruence is the North Star. Women feel when your outside matches your inside. That alignment is the quiet thunder under everything we're discussing. I want to give you a simple weekly cadence to operationalize all 9 signs without overwhelm. On Sunday night, set 3 intentions. 1 for your body, 1 for your craft, 1 for your relationships. Body. Exactly which sessions, which days, what times. Craft. The one output that, if shipped, moves the ball furthest. Relationships. 2 moments of high-quality presence you will create. 1 social, 1 romantic. Put these on the calendar. Each morning, scan your day and ask, where will my composure be tested? Pre-decide your response. Each evening, run a 2-minute audit. Did I keep my standards? Where did I leak? What's the smallest patch I can apply tomorrow? This loop, intent, test, audit builds compounding attractiveness because it builds compounding integrity. Notice what I haven't told you to do. Chase, perform, pretend, or memorize scripts. Scripts can be training wheels, but they become a cage if you cling to them. The goal is not to act attractive, but to become a man who naturally generates the signals of attraction because his life is aligned. When you are well-slept, well-trained, well-dressed, purpose-anchored, boundary-backed, humor-laced, and sexually honest, you don't need to argue your case. You walk in with a presence that says, I am the man who finishes what he starts. I'm here because I choose to be, not because I have nowhere else to go. That line doesn't leave your mouth, it lives in your spine. Let's tighten each sign into a tangible self-check you can use this week. For self-command, can you maintain eye contact, breathe, and speak slowly when someone interrupts you? For direction, can you state your quarterly aim in 1 sentence without looking up what you wrote? For selective abundance, can you say no 3 times this week with kindness and 0 guilt? For pro-social dominance, can you make 1 plan, lock the logistics, and adapt once without losing center? For nonverbal fluency, can you record your voice and remove 1 filler you overuse? For competence, can you finish a lingering task that's hurt your reputation with yourself? For relational intelligence, can you mirror one emotion precisely before you offer a solution? For vitality, can you hit your training sessions and your sleep window within 30 minutes for 5 nights? For clean desire, can you end one great interaction first, on purpose, with warmth, and leave the next step clear? When you run this checklist honestly, 2 things happen. First, you discover you're closer than you thought. Second, you see exactly where you're leaking signal. That clarity is a gift. Most men float in a fog of vague dissatisfaction, convinced attraction is mystical or genetic. It isn't. It's behavioral. It's structural. It's the compounding effect of choices made in private and broadcast in public without you trying. Every yes to a late-night doom scroll is a no to your morning clarity. Every yes to an extra drink is a no to your skin and sleep. Every yes to being always available is a no to the mystery that keeps desire alive. Reverse those choices and your reality bends. There's a deeper layer I want you to feel under all of this. Women aren't just attracted to men who look like they can win. They're attracted to men who can lose cleanly. Losing cleanly means you can be wrong without collapsing, teased without flinching, rejected without revenge, and alone without self-destructing. That's emotional sovereignty. It's the rarest scent in the world. When you carry it, you don't argue with reality. You adjust with dignity. You apologize quickly when you're out of line, and you never apologize for having a line. You take feedback, you discard projections, and you continue your mission. A man like that is magnetic because he's unbuyable. You can't bribe him with attention or threaten him with withdrawal. He is with you because he chooses to be, and he leaves because his standards demand it. That is the core of clean masculine power. Now imagine your next 30 days with these 9 signs installed. You wake with purpose. You train. You eat like a man who respects his future. You dress like a man who expects to be seen. You speak with economy. You smile with your eyes. You decide decisively. You hold your boundaries without drama. You plan dates that are simple, thoughtful, and textured. You listen more than you talk, but when you talk, you mean it. You escalate with calibration. You end nights on purpose. You sleep deeply. You repeat. People around you will react. Some will test you more. Good. Tests are proof that your signal is being felt. Most men crumble in tests because they think tests are personal attacks. They're not. They're calibration requests. Meet them with warmth and spine. That combination is irresistible. If you take only one thing from this, let it be this. Attraction is earned in the invisible hours. The woman you want is already tuned to the channel you broadcast when no one is watching. Train your nervous system. Align your calendar. Sharpen your standards. Lead with benevolence. Speak with resonance. Build competence. Attune with boundaries. Invest in vitality. Own your desire. Stack these and you stop auditioning. You become the man a woman feels safe to be fully feminine around. Playful, expressive, radiant, because your structure can hold the storm and enjoy the sun. That's the point. Not control. Not conquest. Polarity. Partnership. A dance where your presence makes her light even brighter. So here's the move. Pick one sign and over-index it for 7 days. Not forever. 7 days. Go hard. Make it obvious in your behavior. On day 8, rotate to the next. In 9 weeks, you'll have cycled the full stack. People will think something dramatic happened. You didn't need a miracle, you needed structure. When structure meets soul, men become gravitational, and gravitational men don't ask if they're attractive. They carry themselves like the answer.